Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of my Beatles ranking series. I'm just going to jump right into it. Starting at number 123, I'm going to go with the White Album song Your Blues, which was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, of let me talk. It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek uh, attempt for the Beatles to do a blues song similar to groups like the Yardbirds, John Mayall, groups like that were coming out that were really, pushing that blues rock, even the Stones to an extent, pushing that blues rock sound. And this was kind of John Lennon's way of doing it. Absolutely nails the vocals. He has a shredding kind of sound to his voice. And he even mentions Bob Dylan's song Ballad of a Thin Man, where he says, just like Dylan's Mr. Jones. Great song all the way around. And again, it was one of those songs that John Lennon performed outside of the Beatles. He did it with the Dirty Mac, the Rolling Stones, with during their Rock and Roll Circus special. So very cool tune. Really like it. And I should say at this point, all of these songs, they're all winners. Not that the other ones weren't, but with the exception of the Revolution 9 Blue Jay Way. 122 is going to be the song from Rubber Soul, You Won't See Me. I love that song. Again, the kind of the 60s sounding intro, the doom, 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 when I call, pop you up, your line's engaged. Just a great song. Yes, it's been so long, girl, since you've been gone. I just can't go on if you won't see me. And in the background, you won't see me. And then at the end, they kind of get the whoo, like that classic Paul McCartney sound. Love that song. It's 122. 121, we're going to head over to Sergeant Pepper again for the very psychedelic, being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. Now, this is another one of those songs that has really grown on me over the years. It used to be a lower tier song for me. Obviously, Beatles fans know the story. John was in a thrift store, found this old poster that was advertising a circus, and he essentially, probably 85 to 90% of the song came from this poster about, Henry the Horse dances the waltz, being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. There will be a show tonight. It was a benefit show for this guy, Mr. Kite, and it's very psychedelic. The drums are very circus-like, the doom bop, boom bop, very carnival sounding, and it was kind of cool. I've seen Paul McCartney do this song a couple times live. Very cool when he does it, and I'm glad that he's kind of thrown it into his set list to keep that song alive for a little bit of a deeper cut for Beatles fans. But it's kind of a trippy song and fits the Pepper album quite well. Number 120, we're gonna go with the single "From Me to You," one of those classic Beatles tracks with the John Lennon harmonica. It starts out da 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 doom doom da. Again, killer vocals. Just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. And then I love how at the end it goes to you, one one, to you, one one. John, I love the harmonica of that. I also love that last chord that they play. And this song always when I'm listening to this song, because I first heard it on the Beatles One album, the next song on the track list is "She Loves You," so like that's the next thing that I always think of. It's a great Beatles song. It's just one of those great early tracks. I love the John Lennon harmonica. I wish he would have incorporated the harmonica more, post 1964. It would have been really nice to have more John Lennon harmonica because he could play it quite well. Number 119, we're going to go with "Things We Said Today," one of my absolute favorite McCartney songs. I love the acoustic guitar, and just that kind of like that lower tier of McCartney's voice. You say you will love me. And then I love the build during the middle eight, the doom, 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 me, I'm just the lucky kind, love to hear you say. I love that so much. Great melody. McCartney just could do a hook like nobody's business. And this is one of those songs, "Things We Said Today," that really strong acoustic guitar, the kind of jangles a little bit, and I love that. 118, it's the first George Harrison original that we get in the Beatles catalog, and that's "Don't Bother Me" from With the Beatles, which I know was not a song that George Harrison spoke kindly of later on in life. And if I remember correctly, in his autobiography, "I Me Mine," this was, I think, the only Beatles song that he didn't even make note of, which kind of says a lot. But I mean, you figure George was only 20 years old writing the song. I think it's a fine little song. Since she's been gone, I want her alone to talk to me. I love his voice. I've got no time for you right now. Don't bother me. It doesn't sound like. I mean, it's very sophisticated, and if you really listen to it, you can hear how sophisticated it is. It's not just these, three chords. It's very Beatley, and again, as I've said earlier in this series, I love young George's voice. I do. I love how thick the accent is. I love the youthfulness behind it. I just love that you can hear a lot of his '50s influences. So, "Don't Bother Me" is 118, probably a little bit higher than a lot of people would put it. Back to Rubber Soul, "If I Needed Someone," one of the jangly Beatles songs that they kind of. I think George took this from the Bells of Rhymney, the version by the Byrds, I believe. I know he was inspired by the Byrds quite a bit on this track, and um, they kind of really pushed him, not personally, but him listening to the music to get him into the Rickenbacker guitar game. And so he pulls out his Rickenbacker. It's got that jangly sound, that down, 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 down. I'm surprised it's not higher because I love that bird sound. It's very, very Tom Petty. It could have been a Tom Petty song. If I needed someone to love, you're the one that I've been thinking of. And then all of the harmony right here, they kind of go, "If I needed someone," kind of underneath. I love that, and it's one of George's most jangly songs. Absolutely love it. No, excuse me. "If I Needed Someone," 116. We're gonna head back to Abbey Road in the medley with "You Never Give Me Your Money." Well, not the medley. It's prior medley, but it's a great little piano song by Paul. "You never give me your money, you only give me your funny paper." It's just great, and then it kind of cuts into a second song. The whole "out of college" bit. He kind of has that Lady Madonna voice that he did. "Out of college, money spent, future." The fat voice that I always refer to, and it's great because obviously this song, as I mentioned earlier with "Carry That Weight," it's reprised in "Carry That Weight," and it just makes the Abbey Road flow so much better with those two connections, and I love that. So "You Never Give Me Your Money" is number 116. 115, we're gonna hit the Revolver with "I'm Only Sleeping," John Lennon. I love the acoustic sound, that upstroke, the "when I wake up early in the morning," kind of chop, but chop in the background. "Take my head, I'm still yawning," and then you get that backwards loop and kind of in the middle. You're like, "Whoa, what is this?" Because um, you know, we haven't gotten "Tomorrow Never Knows" on that album yet, so we don't. This backwards loop is like, where is this coming from? That had to have been mind blowing to hear in 1966. That this weird effect that influenced so many others after the Beatles. So it's just a great song. I love John's kind of trippy vocals in it, and then I love the kind of the break, the "doo doo 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 doo, keeping it alive, all the world going by my window." The Paul McCartney bit with John. I love that. 114, we're gonna head back to Sergeant Pepper with "Lovely Rita." I love the first note, the da, 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 and then that drum. It's almost like it's in the back, but it's also so full. The doom bop, very mallet like, and then you've got that dreamlike John Lennon vocal with the "Lovely Rita, meter maid." It's about a meter maid named Rita. It's one of those storytelling songs that Paul was so fond of in 1967. Songs like this, "Penny Lane," that Paul was just really a master at. Even the Sergeant Pepper song, and I love "Lovely Rita." It's one of my favorites on the Pepper album, and I love how they use like the wax comb. They use combs with wax paper to hit that one noise, that whomp 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 whomp. That's the Beatles. I think all four of them blowing through wax paper into hair combs, which is really cool and very not traditional. Number 113, head back to Abbey Road. One of the most beautiful Beatles productions ever. Maybe even their best production on a song. It's the song "Because" from Abbey Road. It's got that great harpsichord um, in the background. And then think, I know all three of the singers, Paul, John, and George, they quadruple track their vocals. So you have, it sounds like 16 to 20, 25 24, 28, but however many vocals it sounds like, it sounds awesome. It's a huge choral sounding song. The high note that George is hitting is just beautiful. The because the world is round. It's so good. Ah, ah. It's just a beautiful, and then you get that little, ba-down, 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 ba-down. And just, I love it. It's just, you hear it and you're like, Abbey Road is the greatest Beatles album. I've said that a million times. People that know my channel know that. And it sounds like because that, again, some people might put lower, but when I hear that production, I'm like, listen just to the beauty and the simplicity of their vocals. And then when they, stack it and stack it, it's beautiful. I love the song because. Number 112, let's ruffle some feathers. I'm gonna go with Let It Be. And again, for those of you that think I'm just gonna have all the greatest hits at the end, this is proof that I will not. Let It Be is number 112, the title track of the Beatles' final album. It's overdone for me. Paul McCartney sings it all the time, as he should. I mean, it's a great song, and it's got those great solos. The different solo on the studio version versus, excuse me, the album version versus the single version. One of them's a little bit more gritty with the actual guitar, and the other one's kind of more like tremolo sounding, I would say. And they're both great. I was more familiar with the tremolo kind of sounding, um, you know, sounding song because that's the version that they would usually play on the radio. But it's a beautiful song. It's about a dream that he had, and he saw his mother, Mary McCartney, in the dream, and his vocal is just great, and it kind of would lead into songs like "Maybe I'm Amazed" that he would do the following year on his first album. So I've got to give Let It Be its props. It's great. I love all versions of it, but I'm just I can't separate the fact that I've heard it so much to the fact that it's a great song. So it's 112. It's kind of smack dab in the middle here, which come at me with your thoughts on that. Number 111, a great John Lennon harmonica song. I Should Have Known Better. It's got that great no 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 from the Hard Day's Night album. I should have known better with a girl like you. What always cracked me up about that song in the movie is that they're singing the song, and the harmonica is still playing because John is lip syncing in the movie to the song, and the way that the harmonica on the studio track comes in before the actual vocals come in, and so it's always funny when stuff like that happens. And yeah, so anyway, it's one of those great songs. His voice gets up there. He goes, and I do, hey, hey, and I do, it's a great song. Number 110, we're going to go with the single Yes It Is, which is beautiful. I always kind of think of it as a part two of This Boy, just vocally. It's got that kind of cool, like, wham, like the guitar kind of goes like, wham, wah, kind of like that, And then again, I'm a sucker for harmony, so this whole, if you wore red tonight, remember what I said tonight, for red is the color that my baby wore. I love you can hear George. He goes, baby wore, and once more, it's true. I love that. Yes, it is. I would be happy with you. I haven't heard that song in a long time, and I'm pulling these lyrics. I probably haven't heard that song in 5 years, and that's no exaggeration. Love that track. Number 109, the first song on Rubber Soul. It's going to be Drive My Car. It's kind of a topic of contention amongst Beatles fans as to how good this song actually is. I love the intro, down, 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 then that bass, boom, 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 doo, doo, doo. Ask the girl what she, and I think this song probably I liked it a little bit more, because it was on the Beatles Rock Band track. Beatles Rock Band track listing, and I fell in love with that song, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go buy the actual copy of Rubber Soul was because of Drive My Car, and I love it. And people that see McCartney say they've seen McCartney do the song, one too many times live. I've seen McCartney twice, and he hasn't done it at either show. So it would be great for me to hear him do that if he does decide to tour again. Um, And let me go ahead and I'll close with this one, number 108, the title track from the film Help. And again, a great song starts out with, help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody. And I know it's one of those songs that's kind of John Lennon, asking for, help because he was struggling. I mean, he was no stranger to struggles, and he put it in his music, like I've said, up until the end. And I know that there are slower versions of the song that exist when John Lennon was writing the song, and you can really see where he was coming from in the writing of this track. And so, I've got nothing but good things to say about the song. It's a great song opener. You can only picture it as the opening, scene of the film with Ringo with that, ring pop kind of, ring that you just want to eat on that drum kit. And it's the Beatles at their most bowl cut haircuts during that, uh, especially George. And Ringo's hair is just, shong, shong. It's like, Little Lord Fauntleroy or whatever you want to say. But anyway, I love the song Help. It's a great opening track, one of the greatest opening tracks of any album, and it's where I'm going to stop at 108 for tonight. So let me know what you think. Let me know how crazy I am for these songs, for these, I guess, 123 through 108. Um, Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And again, I'm going to try to pump out a couple more of these over the weekend. So in the meantime, y'all be good, take care, comment, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.